A special thank you to each of our subscribers who make this channel possible. Here's today's story. In a significant escalation of its ongoing conflict with Hamas, Israel has announced plans to intensify its military operations in Gaza by taking control of Gaza City. This announcement comes after 22 months of war that has already resulted in the deaths of tens of thousands of Palestinians, widespread displacement, and devastation across the territory. The situation has raised alarms for both Palestinian civilians and the Israeli hostages still held in Gaza, prompting renewed international calls for an end to the conflict. Israel's military campaign has led to a catastrophic humanitarian crisis, with reports indicating that the territory is on the brink of famine. The potential for another major ground operation raises concerns about the safety of civilians, as it will likely involve the mobilization of thousands of troops and the forced evacuation of residents. Mediators from Egypt and Qatar are currently working on a new framework aimed at securing the release of all hostages, both dead and alive, in exchange for a cessation of hostilities and the withdrawal of Israeli forces from Gaza. Before the Security Cabinet approved the plan to take over Gaza City, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu had hinted at broader ambitions to control all of Gaza, a territory that Israel already occupies to a significant extent. Hamas has dismissed these plans, warning that any further aggression against the Palestinian people will not be easily achieved. The proposed expanded offensive could further strain Israel's relations with international powers, many of whom have expressed growing concern over the humanitarian situation in Gaza. Britain and Germany have both urged Israel to reconsider its plans, emphasizing the need for a diplomatic resolution to the conflict. Germany's Chancellor Friedrich Merz stated that the harsh military actions approved by the Israeli cabinet make it increasingly difficult to see how the goals of the operation can be achieved. Tensions are expected to escalate if Netanyahu moves forward with plans to take control of the entire territory, particularly given that this would occur 2 decades after Israel's unilateral withdrawal from Gaza. In an interview with Fox News, Netanyahu reaffirmed Israel's intention to secure its borders by removing Hamas from Gaza, though he clarified that Israel does not aim to permanently occupy the territory. The current military strategy appears to be a calculated move to pressure Hamas into accepting a ceasefire on Israel's terms, while also addressing concerns raised by Israel's military leadership regarding the risks to hostages and the strain on military resources. The Israeli military has stated that it will prepare to take control of Gaza City while simultaneously providing humanitarian aid to civilians outside of combat zones. Estimates suggest that mobilizing around 30,000 troops and executing a takeover of Gaza City could take less than 3 months. The conflict was reignited on October 7, 2023, when Hamas militants launched an attack on Israel, resulting in approximately 1,200 Israeli deaths and the abduction of 251 individuals. While many hostages have since been released, around 50 remain in Gaza, with Israel believing that about 20 of them are still alive. The current ceasefire negotiations have garnered support from major Arab Gulf monarchies, who are concerned about the potential for further destabilization in the region if Israel proceeds with a full reoccupation of Gaza. The discussions are also focused on addressing the contentious issue of Hamas weapons, with Israel demanding full disarmament while Hamas has thus far refused. Proposed solutions include a temporary freeze on arms, allowing Hamas to retain but not use its weapons, and establishing a Palestinian Arab Committee to oversee Gaza's reconstruction efforts until a new Palestinian administration can be formed. The role of the Western-backed Palestinian Authority in this framework remains uncertain. The U.S. administration has been informed about the broad outlines of the proposed framework. A senior Hamas official has indicated that the group is aware of the mediation efforts, but has not yet received detailed information. U.S. Envoy Steve Witkoff recently communicated to families of hostages that Israel is shifting its approach towards a comprehensive deal aimed at ending the war and securing the release of hostages. Despite ongoing military operations, Israel continues to face challenges in effectively controlling Gaza City as militants regroup and resistance persists. The city remains one of the few areas in Gaza not yet designated as an Israeli buffer zone or subjected to evacuation orders. The potential for a major ground operation in Gaza City could displace tens of thousands of residents and disrupt humanitarian aid efforts in the already beleaguered territory. The exact population of Gaza City is unclear, as many residents fled during the initial weeks of the conflict but have since returned during temporary ceasefires. As the situation evolves, Palestinians brace for further suffering, with reports indicating that at least 42 individuals were killed in Israeli airstrikes and shootings on Thursday alone. Local hospitals report that many casualties were seeking aid in military-designated zones that have been overwhelmed by desperate crowds. The Israeli military has claimed it did not engage in any fire in certain areas at the time, although the situation remains complex and chaotic. The ongoing military offensive has led to over 61,000 Palestinian deaths, according to Gaza's health ministry, which is viewed as a reliable source despite Israel's disputes over the figures. As the international community watches closely, the path forward remains fraught with uncertainty and peril for both Israelis and Palestinians caught in the crossfire of this protracted conflict. That's all for this story. We upload videos every day covering many different subjects, so hit that subscribe button to stay informed. Thanks for watching.